Let's go to the Shadow Treasurer, his opponent, Angus Taylor. Angus, good to see you. Thanks for your time as always. So let us start with that fresh drop this morning. $9.3 billion is the surplus, then comes deeper deficits. What do you make of those figures this morning?
Well, Pete, what we need in this budget is not a windfall surplus, we need a structural surplus, which means an ongoing shift to balance on a structural basis, on a sustainable basis, and that's how you beat inflation, Pete. The first and most important test for this budget is it going to beat the domestic homegrown inflation that Labor's generated since it's been in power, or is it going to leave it untamed like the last two budgets did? Australians can't afford a third budget failure in beating inflation. That means there has to be a budget balance. I mean, this is a government that took away the rule that has been in place since the 1990s that all budgets should shift towards budget balance over time. They've given up the ghost on that, but we do need to see that if we're going to see inflation tamed in this country, and that of course is the great pain that's bearing down on households, whether they're pensioners, younger Australians, hardworking Australians trying to repay their mortgages. They're all suffering from this cost of living crisis.
But the government says it is taming inflation and it'll be done by Christmas. You're not buying that?
Well, no one else, but no one else believes that.
Well, that must have some pretty good information.
What nonsense we just heard from the Treasurer as he verbaled the Reserve Bank. Look, the Reserve Bank has set the alarm bells off for good reason. They've said inflation is going up, not down right now. That's what we saw in the last figures, and we need to see a pathway to tame it. And we haven't seen that. And that, as I say, is the first and most important test for this budget. It was the test for the last two budgets. They failed on it. They've added over $20,000 of spending since they came to power for every Australian household. And I tell you, Pete, there won't be many households out there feeling as though they're seeing the benefit of that right now.
Right.
The real job here is to tame that inflation.